What's up, y'all? I hope you can hear me because I'm using a mic today because my guest inspired me to pull the mic out. So I hope the audio is running how it should. Welcome to another episode of the Imperfect Action Show. On this show, what do? Well, we break down principles, strategies, and tactics to help you in marketing and in business. And on today's episode, we got a really interesting topic. The topic is not to be a slave in your business, which I thought was pretty interesting. So I asked my guest, who is the millennial money maven, all about generational wealth and wealth building. If you guys paid attention to what we had going on a couple of months ago, she was on one of my other platforms, and
Yes, yes.
I'm grateful and fortunate that she's on today's episode, and I get a chance to see her in person this week, which is amazing.
I can't wait.
So, Shaniqua Nicole, Money Maven, welcome to the Imperfect Action Show. And please introduce yourself. Let the people know about you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to send a text to our community to let us know that we are live right now.
Okay, perfect. First of all, thank you so much, King, for allowing me to be here again. I love talking to you, talking to your audience. But what's up, folks? I'm Shaniqua Nicole, the Millennial Money Maven. Excuse my voice a little bit, dealing with some things. But look, my brother said, you will be on a podcast today. I'm going to be on a podcast today. So here we are. But y'all definitely can tap in with me on Instagram at Money Maven Club. I help people retire rich and raise rich kids, right? So I'm definitely all about building generational wealth and helping you take those dollars that you have and stretching it into millions. So tap in with me to learn more on how you can take the money that you have, grow it, and create real wealth.
So I got a quick question before we even go and talk into today's topic. So your purpose is pretty interesting. Why and how did that become your purpose? And I like how you added in the next generation, which is the children, right? Because I think that's seldom spoken about when people talk about generational wealth. Yeah, you want to leave some money for your kids and stuff like that, but you're talking about actively doing it in real time as well. So let's just
Absolutely.
talk about your purpose real quick. Where did that come from? How did that become something that you became passionate about?
Yeah, so I believe that my purpose is to, show ordinary people that they can live whatever life that they want to live. If you want to live extraordinarily, you want to live rich, you want to, you know, if you want to live like me, right? I like peace. I like stress-free lifestyle. I like to be able to educate my children, travel, right? So if you want to live whatever lifestyle you want to live, I like to show people that it's possible, right? And that's really important for me because I'm the eldest of 8 siblings, and my parents had me when they were 16 years old. So it was a struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like it was not easy for them. It wasn't easy for me. And I mean, really, we grew up together. And I'm sure I've seen $1 million cash run through my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure we all have. And it's unfortunate, but it's our job to change things. So I went to school for finance. I got my bachelor's degree in finance, and literally finance, numbers, money, it has really just always been my passion. It's always been what came easy to me. And I have this thing where it's like if 3 different people ask me the same question, then I need to be creating a product or a service around that question so that I can help them better understand. So just through my career, my life journey through finance and investment consulting, I've learned what our people need when it comes to finances, and I've also seen the big disparity in what it looks like for us when we retire, when we have to send our kids to college, right? Because this is what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So the work that I do, I love, but more importantly, I love teaching people and showing people and inspiring them to think outside of the box. Because we think that in order to be a millionaire, you got to make $1 million. I've never made $1 million in 12 months, but I have a 7-figure net worth, and it's so easy to do when you learn strategies and when you just take that time and consistency to do the plan, work the plan, right? Work the plan.
Well, the first thing I got to say is I'm definitely championing your efforts. I really love your purpose. And, I chose it the first time we connected. Like, everything you got going on, I truly support because
I
I
appreciate it.
really love the energy. And I already felt like from the first conversation that we already built like a nice friendship and a brother sisterhood and things like that. So
Absolutely.
have you back on talking this generational wealth talk, encouraging people to get their money right, get their finances in order. Something that you said during some of the things you just mentioned. You were talking about how it's not hard and it's actually easy. So I actually want to kind of double in on that real quick, and then we can talk about today's topic.
Okay.
Why do people? Well, I guess it's a two-part question. And in community, if you guys have questions, please drop them in the chat. We can ask the Money Maven directly live. So why do people? So question one: why do people think that it's hard to make money? Right. So
People
that's the
think,
first question I have.
okay, and you want to ask a second, or are we gonna wait?
And we're gonna wait.
Okay, okay. So I don't think that people think that it's hard to make money, right? Everybody knows how to make money. We get up, we go to work. We've done this for 20 years, right? But the hardest part is what do you do once you have money?
Mm,
And that's the thing that people are that were never taught. School never sits us down and say, okay, you have $1, this is what you do with $1. So I think it's very important for people to even understand when you get your first dollar, 20% you need it, or 10 or 20% you need the tithe, right? Whatever your preference. The goal is to get to 20. You want to save 20%, and you should be living off 30, right? People, I see that often where, people are living well beyond their means. You shouldn't be spending more than 30% of your income on living expenses. So let's just say you make $3,000 a month. 30% of that is what? $900.
yeah, pretty
You
much.
shouldn't be.
Mhm.
You shouldn't have an apartment that costs more than $900. Now I don't know where you're gonna live in the country for $900 a month.
You
That's
can't
gonna be
even.
a
I mean,
struggle.
some places you can't even get a room for $900.
Listen, I'm from New Jersey, so I get it. Now we are a little spoiled here in Georgia, but the price is going up everywhere, right? The price of real estate is going up everywhere. Yeah, but I think that some people do think that it's hard to make money, and their biggest block is literally their mindset. And what I try to do is help people unblock those filters, right? Because you have to literally be able to look around you and see opportunity. And sometimes, I mean, and especially you, I know, we're similar in that way where we're entrepreneurs, so we look around us and you see nothing but opportunity, right? When I'm out on the highway and I see these tractor trailers, I'm like, dang, look at all that money. Or I
Mhm.
see some workers, hanging up a sign. I'm like, dang, I wonder what company contracted, with the state to do that, right? So you have to think from a producer's mindset, and that's really what I do with my kids, right? So I have a 7-year old named Bryce, and he's the author of a book called ABCs for Rich Kids. And so everything that I do with him is to try to get his brain to be a creator, because when you understand that you can literally create things, um then you look at consumption a little different, right? And so he has his book. I'm gonna tell you a funny story real quick, then we could get into the topic. We went out to Utah to do an event. He sold out of his books, and I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to buy? What do you want to get? I do allow him to have some fun, right? You got to have a little budget for fun. So we talked about the budget. We talked about how many books you want to sell, how much money you want to make. I gave him a goal and all of that so he could understand that you can literally say what you want, bring that thing into real life, and now you have exactly what you asked for. But he said he wanted some kind of Power Ranger toy. And I was like, okay, well, who makes Power Ranger toys? And he was like, I don't know, Walmart. I'm like, no, Walmart sells Power Ranger toys, but ask Siri who makes them. So he asked Siri, and Siri said that Hasbro makes them. I said, okay, well, ask Siri how much is Hasbro stock. He asked Siri. Siri told him Hasbro stock. I don't know, maybe it was $60. I forget. But I'm like, if you want to buy this toy that costs, whatever, let's just say it was $50, then you also need to buy the stock, right? Because I'm trying to teach him at a young age, if you're going to be a consumer, you also need to be an owner. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that I teach him is that the person who helps the most people makes the most money, right? So like he'll say things like, "Oh, when are we going to go sell more books?" And I'm like, whenever we get a chance, or, I don't know why he likes money so much, but like he wants
Must
money.
be must be his mom.
And his dad hates it. His dad hates it. He does. Because he's like, oh, he needs to be a kid. But yeah, a kid is cool, but when do we learn? When do we get intentional?
Yeah.
So I try to take this time that I have right now in my life, because I've carved out this time in my life to have the freedom to and capacity. What I've learned is that a lot of people don't even have the mental capacity to slow down enough, and be intentional with having these kind of conversations. So yeah, I really make that a priority. I would definitely say that's part of my purpose too, educating the kids. So we coming out with some instructional programs for the kids as well around
You
money.
gonna turn the ABCs for rich kids into like a board game or something? Because I could see that.
Oh, that's cute. I haven't
Yeah,
thought about it.
see that for real, for real. Um,
Have to cut you your
well,
royalty on
we'll
that.
talk about that more in person. All right, so today's topic is not being a slave to your business, and I think it's interesting because you sent that over, and I was like, ooh, I felt that, ooh, because that's something that I'm working on getting out of, right? Like I love waking up and I love going after it and I love doing what I do, but after a while, as an entrepreneur, like you said, like there's working in your business and then on your business and things like that.
Man,
So, what are some of those first foundational pillars when it comes to
yeah,
actually transition from working into working on? And
yeah.
is a hybrid model something that's sustainable, or do we want to go all the way to on?
I think it's just personally about your goals, right? Some people are meant to be workers, and we just have to accept who we are and what we do, and what we're destined to be and what we want to do. Me personally, I don't want to work my whole life, right? I want to be able to retire in maybe 10, 15 years. And I kind of took a little mini retirement now to have children, right? So I think it's important to understand what you want out of your life, and then and that'll help you decide if a hybrid model. I mean, if you own a business, you're always going to be a part of it, even if you are just on the board of the business and you're providing advice. You always want to, have some kind of inkling into your business. But you, like, man, you are killing it.
I appreciate it.
You do so much. And I'm just like, I literally just told him, you're behind the scenes. I got to catch up. He just told me he got 3 podcasts, right? And I know YouTube is cutting a check on these podcasts. It's okay.
Well, we
I'm going to cut
almost
some
did.
mine.
Just full disclosure, 220 more subs. Then technically, by YouTube standards, I'm in monetization. But I figured out a way to monetize before you get to that. But if you're watching this right now and you are not subscribed, definitely help me get to that 1,000, but also help me reach more people. Make
Hit
sure
the
you subscribe
subscribe
right now.
button.
Yeah, right there. That's
Yes,
where
sir. Hit the subscribe button, because this man is working for y'all. Okay. He coming to you Monday to Friday. But let's get back to how do you get out of the business, right? And so how it was for me when I left my corporate job 5 years ago. I just felt like I had to do all the things. I had to, make all the money. I didn't really want to pay a whole lot of people to do a whole lot of things, because, of course, I get to keep more money if I don't. But I found myself super stressed out. I found my client service kind of lagging a bit because I was just trying to do too much, right? So when you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, there's so many facets to the business, right? So just like what people say in life, whenever you are focused on one thing, another thing lacks. And it's the same in business. So you literally can't do everything in your business. So what I had to do was I had to learn how to operate my business like a CEO, right? And so every single, I mean, I was gonna say every year, I used to probably do this every year, But I think it's more important to do it at least every quarter, where you sit down and go back to your business plan. If you don't have one, now's the time to sit down and make one, right? Because you need to understand where, where you should be spending your time, where you should be spending your money. You need to start to see the big picture, right? So just to kind of give you guys a little in on my business, I started a tax business over 15 years ago, probably about 14, 15 years ago. And the only two ways that I could increase my revenue were to have more clients and increase my rates, right? That's how you're going to make more money in that business. Of course, you can offer more services, but when it comes to just tax prep, those are the two ways. And yes, I want to take on more clients, but guess what? That leaves me with less time, less freedom. And sometimes, I mean, at one point, I had like over 300 clients. That gets to be very stressful. And, like I said, you just get to the point where you burn out. So, what I learned was that number one, you have to learn how to outsource, right? You got to learn
Yes.
how to hire, fire, and outsource quickly. A lot of people, a lot of, young millennials in business, we think, oh, well, they can't do it like I do, or they're not going to service as good as I would, and they may not. But it's your job to at least learn what can be outsourced so that you can give yourself a little grace. I have this conversation a lot with women entrepreneurs who are, excuse me, guys, who are becoming mothers, and it's like, okay, now I have to take some time off, you know what I'm saying? And God forbid you get sick or something like that. But the first thing you got to do is think about operating your business like a CEO, right? And a CEO has management in place. They have the CFO, that's the person that's looking after your finance, right? And it doesn't have to be you. It can be your mom, it can be, your accountant, but somebody needs to be looking over the finances. They have a CMO, which is the chief marketing officer. If you've never done marketing in your entire life, if your genius is, making t-shirts, then you might want to hire a marketing team. That kind of stuff can be outsourced. You guys, you do marketing, correct?
Yeah, I do.
Right. So, you want to outsource to the professionals. I'll tell y'all, me personally, I spent thousands of dollars on ads that I was trying to run, and they were horrible. I get with a professional, I give them my budget, and they just convert so much better. So hiring the right, hire, fire, and outsource what you can, because hiring those individuals will literally change the game for you. So that's number one. Think about your business like a CEO. Number two is going to be build systems in your business. Systems literally stands for saving yourself time, energy, and money,
Yo,
right?
it's so crazy how that acronym just happens to come out like that, right?
It's crazy because it's so real, Once you have your systems in place, that's really where you get to the point where you can scale, and then you can start to pull yourself out of business. So, excuse me, I'm so sorry. um, Systems, I found systems to be key, right? When I got to the point where I had 300 clients in my business, and of course, still looking to grow, because it's like, all right, well, how are we going to hit? Okay, we hit 50,000, we hit 100,000, we hit 300,000. How are we going to hit $1 million, right? And it's like, wow, we already got 300 clients. In order to hit a million, we need 700. Who knows, right? But in order to do those kind of numbers, I learned that you have to have your systems in place. And when I first started, I ain't gonna lie, I fell flat on my face when I first started hiring people, because I didn't realize that before I hire people, I need to know what they're gonna do.
SOPs.
I need SOPs. Do you have SOPs in your business?
I got them now. You know what I'm
You have
saying?
them
I still
now.
work on them, but I definitely did. Listen, I started several businesses without SOPs. I'm gonna tell you.
Listen, and that's just like the creative mindset. Like, we just create and figure it out later. It's kind of a part of like our culture. And but the problem in that is you never have anything sustainable if what you do is not repeatable, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
You definitely need your SOPs. And that was like one of the main reasons that I created my software, my Maven CRM. So the CRM system allows you to take your clients off of Instagram or off of Facebook, right? Wherever, or YouTube, right? Wherever you are talking to your people, you need to be able to get their information so that you can talk to them when you want. Because as we all know, Instagram crashes, Facebook, can ban you. I heard that you were banned recently from
I was
Instagram.
definitely shadow banned on live. I couldn't go live, which is the reason why we have the Imperfect Action Show. So I take it as a blessing. But one of the things I wanted to just kind of throw out there because you mentioned it, right? What about what recently happened with Wiz Khalifa and Gilly the Kid? Now, whether that was an algorithm or somebody reported it, Gilly his Instagram, he ended up like not. I don't know if he got it back or he had to open up a new one, but he was locked out of it.
Really? I missed it. I've been
Yeah,
like,
it happened like a couple of days ago. It was like a
oh
comment he
wow.
made about Wiz working out in his boxes or whatever. Um, but what ended up happening is, well, if Gilly doesn't have all of those hundreds of thousand people, million followers contact,
Context.
50% of them or whatever the case may be, that's a lot of lost revenue and a lot of lost connection to your end consumer,
Absolutely.
right? So that's what Money Maven
Yeah,
talk.
that's where those systems come into place because let's just say he lost his Instagram today. He can literally email everybody and be like, or text. He could text everybody like, yo, Instagram bugging, y'all follow me on this new page.
Mhm,
And now
definitely.
he has a backup page. But see, the crazy thing about the backup pages is you don't know if they're scams or not. So I don't even follow people's backup page because there's so many scam pages. Like I have people, these weirdos out here dupe your page and trying to scam people out of money. There's like 5 scam pages out there with my pictures on it. So I don't even deal. But the Maven CRM system literally helps you map out your entire business, right, from the sales, right? So you want to think about how are you bringing customers into your business, how are you going to service them, what how do you provide the same service to that customer over and over again, right? Because that's how you're going to duplicate your efforts within your team. You also want to make sure you have some kind of phone text message system, right? So the Maven CRM system, we offer a soft phone where your team can literally get on a phone, make calls. You can record, you can listen to your team, take calls, um, unlimited websites, unlimited funnels, all that kind of stuff, right? So that is the second thing that you need when you are trying to not be a slave in your business. My systems work for me so that I don't have to, right? Sends out emails, sends out text messages, and literally walks people through the sales process without me having to get on a phone. And when I first started, I used to, even maybe last year, I was doing sales calls every day. You do sales calls?
Yeah, pretty much every day. But I just hired a so this is the thing. I hired a closer and a setter, which is cool because they're starting to ramp up. But I still close better than them. So I need to
Of
be on that.
course, of course. That's the
I
thing.
still need to
You
yeah.
You can't, I tell my business owners all the time, you can't expect your team to do what you do, right? To produce what you produce, but you also can't force them to produce what you haven't produced.
Yes.
So you got to be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's your business. You
Yeah.
have to be good. And if you're not closing deals, then maybe it's the deal. Maybe it's not the team. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
sometimes it's the offer.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's like you. I mean, this is the thing too. Sometimes it's the offer, but then sometimes you really have to make the offer more than once. I think a lot of people they get under the impression that okay, I need to be selling high ticket or whatever. I need to be selling this and selling that. Oh, he got a 10K program. I need a 10K program. But like you only offer it once or twice, and when you don't close
you think it's not
you think
successful.
it's not successful when there's so many inflictions and it's that call in itself is a journey. Like
Absolutely.
is it like the scripting is important, the cadencing, the tonality,
Right.
really
And you have to
understand.
take your customers through that journey, you know?
Exactly, and then really
So
understanding what are the pain points that your consumer has, because they each have different ones, and listen to them, and even how you pitch. You got to pitch with confidence, because if you don't believe in your price point or believe that you can deliver, they're going to process that, and they're not going to believe either. So if you're
ab-
being really nervous, like, yeah, so it's, I mean, it's 10K, but I can make it 6K. I can, like, like, you got to be firm in your belief that what you're delivering is the best, and that they're really gonna have that transformation. And then you gotta, like Gary Vee says, like, you need 50 hours. I mean, 50 hours on a subject. But then they also said to be a master, you need 10,000 hours on a subject. So you need somewhere between 50 to 10,000, depending on, depending on where you are. But
Depending
I
on who
say,
you talk to.
yeah, depending on who you talk to. But I think 50 sales calls, 50
50
sales
sales
calls,
calls.
at least you, by at least you, to before you even consider getting on hiring.
Hiring or
Yeah.
outsourcing your sales. Yeah.
I think at some point during that journey, you're like, wait a minute, I got this. Like, it just kind of clicked, because that's how it was for me. Like, I was pitching and pitching and on the calls and on the calls, and it was going and it was going. And then one day I was like, wait a minute, oh, I'm in my bag on this one. Like, it just it just it just flows out of you. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Right.
real quick, we got a question from Chandra in the chat. She says, during this process, did you spend a lot of time away from your son?
Hmm. I choose not to, right? So the way that I operate my business is I put my family first. I also have a 10-month-old. So I have no choice, because the baby is not just going to go with anybody. We don't have a nanny. We chose not to get a nanny yet. But that's definitely on the agenda, is to find
The
someone.
nanny's gonna be in that SOP pretty soon.
Listen. The nanny is on my dream life list,
I
right?
like it.
So when
I
I
like
tell you guys that you need to figure out what you want your life to look like, it needs to include those things. If it includes a chef making meals for you 5 days a week, budget that in. If you need daycare, budget that in. If you need nighttime care because you got to go to events after work, you need to budget all of those things in and what your dream life looks like, right? You also want to make sure that you budget in money and time and all of that for your kids' personal development, right? I have my own personal development, I have my own business development time, but my kids also need that time. I find that I actually had a woman tell me this. She's in her 50s, and she said, well, sometimes you got to sacrifice, right? That's what we always hear. This is like something we hear from our grandparents and our aunts, right? And yeah, you do have to sacrifice, but you have to choose what you're willing to sacrifice right now. For me, I'm not willing to sacrifice the time that I spend with my kids. And, like I said, this is why I'm very intentional with this time, because it might not look like this 3 years from now. It might not look like this 5 years from now. I do think it's easier for men to just get up and go. But for me, I prioritize that time with my kids, and I try to be very, very intentional, have fun, travel, all of those things, but very intentional on like excuse me. Very intentional on the lessons and stuff that I want to teach them. So I intentionally don't take a lot of time, but I'm also not doing everything that I want to do in business. So that's my current sacrifice, right? I'm sacrificing, my $1 million month by staying home with my kids more. But it's all in due time, and you just gotta stick to the plan and know that it's gonna work out when it's time for it to work out for you. Great
All right,
question.
guys. So listen, we are talking about not being a slave in your business. We got the Money Maven on, Shaniqua Nicole. A
What's
couple
up?
things
What's
that we
up?
touched on already was being able to look and see opportunity around you, I think is huge, right? Operating as a CEO, building systems and having systems in place. And we were just touching on SOP, standard operating systems.
Yes,
So,
yes.
is there anything else foundationally aside from these three things that one could have And then I guess my question I was going to ask you earlier also is, when someone's starting a business right now, like if you were going to start a business today, should you start positioning your business this way from the beginning?
I think so. It's so much easier when you do. That's why I said you want to sit down, you want to have that business plan, because when you get busy, right? When you're operating your business and you have these new ideas and you get presented with partnerships, and it's there's so much noise that comes, and a lot of times you can lose sight of the original vision. So it's always great to have to literally have something written that you can go back to. And I typically, right now I'll be 35 this year. So I've been thinking a lot about what the next 5 years look like, because I'll be the big 40. And so what I did was I went back to, I don't think I've done this even since I was like 25, but I normally do like to have like a 5 year plan. And because 5 years ago is when I left corporate, I was just so busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just busy. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to have, big months. I'm trying to service all my clients. I'm trying to get more clients. And sometimes you lose sight of what the original plan was and the original vision. And then, of course, life happens. So I think that you should start, you should be intentional from the beginning about, number one, what you want your life to look like, because you can get lost in entrepreneurship real quick. And number two, what your goals are in your business, and just so that you can always go back, reference, and tweak things when you need to. So if you started from the beginning, it's just so, oh my gosh, it's so much easier, because you really don't remember how easy it is for you to do things, especially when you start hiring people. It's so easy for you to, do whatever the process is that you do in your business, that when it comes time for you to teach someone, you're like, oh, this should be easy. And then you get to teaching someone and they're like, they're asking you 50 questions, and you like, well, dang, I thought I did a good job, training them. So if you start that process earlier on, documenting from the beginning, right? I think it's CEO Matty J. He's the king of documentation, right? He literally says document the process. If you document the process from the beginning, you'll always have something to go back to.
100%. All right, guys. Look, we are definitely at the time right now, a couple minutes over. If you have
Oh
any
yeah, 30
additional
minutes.
questions for Money Maven, please drop them in the chat. What I want to do now is give you opportunity to let them know how to tap into you, what you currently have going on, how they can find you, and things like that.
Absolutely. So for the last two, I did have two more. The last two, y'all, is to learn how to manage your money. You need to understand that owner's draws that you take from your business are not tax deductible. So you have to learn creative ways that you can make every dollar you spend out of your business an investment and a tax deduction. So what I do is I help CEOs become more efficient with the money that they're making. And you can tap in with me at Money Maven Club on Instagram. My personal page is shaniquanicole.co. Also offer free consultations. So if you would like to hop on the phone with me or my team, we do everything in the wealth management space, from taxes, life insurance, retirement planning. Like I said, I also own a tech software, right, that can help you streamline your entire business from the process workflow all the way to customer delivery. That's at mymavencrm.com. But yeah, just tap in with me on Instagram. I have a whole lot of things going on. Launching a magazine on Juneteenth at the Black Wealth Awards that I'll be hosting here in Atlanta,
Oh, I
Georgia.
saw that. I did see that.
Yes, yes. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be super dope evening on Juneteenth, where we'll be celebrating all of the amazing Black entrepreneurs that are teaching people how to build wealth, right? So whether it's through marketing or scaling or finance, accounting, right? I have forex person, digital marketing for Neo. We and we're adding on, to the list of honorees that we'll be honoring that night. But it's gonna be super dope. The 50th floor of the Four Seasons here in Atlanta. So you can check that out at blackwealthawards.com. But like I said, you can keep in touch on everything at Money Maven Club. I know that was a lot. But
Let me
I
write that
appreciate you,
down.
King. I appreciate you. Always good talking to you.
BlackWealthAwards.com, right? BlackWealthAwards.com.
BlackWealthAwards.com. Yes, sir.
I am appreciative and grateful for you making the time to stop by the Imperfect Action Show. And we have all of the things. I'll do a quick little recap. And you let me know if I missed anything because I definitely want to make sure everybody got all of the stuff. Number one, you want to operate as a CEO. Number two, you want to build systems and have the systems in place. Number three, you want to establish and implement your standard operating systems, your SOPs. Number four, learn how to manage money. And then number five was make your dollars tax deductible.
That's a part of managing money, but
Okay,
yeah,
what was
you got it.
number five then? I don't think you said number five then.
Number five is protection. So like protecting your business. I kind of just skipped over it because we were at the end. But protecting your business. So that's what your LLC, business insurance. If you have partners, you guys want to make sure you have partnership insurance set up just in case one person gets sick, one person dies, one person, anything. There's a whole lot going on out here in the world, and we're not working to work, right? We're not building businesses to continue to work. We're building businesses so that we can build the lives of our dreams and pass down generational wealth. So you have to learn how to protect your assets, and take the money that you have and 10x that thing, right? So find yourself a professional. Connect with me and my team if you would like a free consult. Let's talk about how we can take your money to the next level.
So I got one more question just because
Yes,
it
sir.
popped up in my head. So if someone's starting, they want to get the money right. Maybe they're a little shy, or maybe they're a little, they're introvert. They're like, I do want to get on the phone with her, but I'm not ready. What are a couple of books that you would recommend? Maybe there's 1, 2, 3 books you recommend for them to start getting the mindset right.
Gotcha. Yeah. So if you're in business, a great book that you should read is Profit First. It's going to teach you a lot about how to structure your business banking, and how you can structure your business to be, so that you have your profit first. It also teaches you about, some accounting things, taxes, all that kind of stuff. It's a great book for people that are not financial people but are running businesses and want to learn more about how to strategize financially in their business. I would definitely start there. I mean, all the other books, investing in real estate, Robert Kiyosaki, learning how to what is Robert Kiyosaki's book?
You got the cash flow quadrant and you got
Cash
rich
flow
dad poor dad.
quadrant. That's exactly the
Cash flow
one.
quadrant.
Cash flow
Yeah.
quadrant. So cash flow quadrant is going to teach you guys how to go from employee to business
Yeah.
owner to investor, right? And so that's kind of where, that's where you want to be. The sweet spot in entrepreneurship is learning that through all of these systems, through your intentionality, you can take that money and now become an investor, right?
Yeah.
And the investor just takes his money, sits back, give it to people, and makes money off of that money. And that's where I'm looking to be. I'm trying to fully retire off of my investments in the next 5 to 10 years, I'll say. And it's possible for you too. You just got to learn how to leverage people, leverage your knowledge, leverage these systems, and you on your way.
Well, Shaniqua, Money Maven, I really, really appreciate you again. Thanks for stopping by the Imperfect Action Show. I will see you this week in Atlanta.
Can't
If
wait.
you guys have not been paying attention, make sure you check out the blackwealthawards.com. Make sure you follow her at Money Maven Club. Also check out her website, shaniquanicole.co. And if you got a kid, she got the kids book, ABCs for Rich Kids. And we just talked about a board game that she might be working on.
Hey, listen, this is what I'm telling y'all. Entrepreneurship gets real crazy.
All right, y'all. We will
So
see
you
you
have
guys
fun.
tomorrow. I haven't decided. It might be a real show, it might be live, or maybe pre-recorded because I got a flight to catch. I'll keep you guys guessing. But there will be something for you, I promise. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Imperfect Action Show. Shaniqua, thank you so much.
Peace, King. I appreciate you.